This podcast is brought to you by Reynolds & Reynolds, the industry leader in automotive technology. Learn how Spark AI, Reynolds' unified AI data layer, can help you unlock your full potential by visiting rey.com/spark-AI. That's rey.com/spark-AI.
Welcome to Daily Drive for Friday, April 25th, 2025. I'm Jamie Butters, Executive Editor of Automotive News in Detroit.
And I'm Kellen Walker in Las Vegas. Today on the show, the Trump administration kicks off its driverless vehicle push. Toyota's chairman proposes a supplier buyout valued at $42 billion. And 2 months after a retooling pause, a major Stellantis plant in Canada is still idle. Plus, tariff ripples are being felt in dealership F&I offices. Protective Asset Protection's Paul McCarthy joins the show to talk about it.
One of the first things that I would do as an F&I manager or as a dealer interested in my F&I profits is I would take a look at my website, and in particular my F&I page.
Let's run through all the news you need to know to keep up in the auto industry.
The U.S. Department of Transportation wants to speed the arrival of automated vehicles. The Trump administration says it's part of a broader effort to bolster the nation's global competitiveness. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy unveiled an automated vehicle framework that intends to coalesce federal support for the industry as it seeks to accelerate deployments from hundreds to tens of thousands of vehicles. The department says it's expanding the automated vehicle exemption program to include domestically produced vehicles. Previously, it was open only to imported autonomous vehicles. U.S.-made autonomous vehicles that did not conform to existing federal motor vehicle safety standards needed to navigate an exemption process that had proved cumbersome. Further, U.S. DOT has changed reporting requirements for crashes involving advanced driver assist and automated driving systems. Duffy said in prepared remarks on Thursday, quote, "This administration understands that we're in a race with China to out-innovate, and the stakes couldn't be higher." You can find more details at autonews.com.
Toyota Chairman Akio Toyoda is proposing a buyout of supplier Toyota Industries. That's according to people familiar with the matter who spoke with Bloomberg News. Toyota Industries makes looms for textile manufacturing as well as parts for Toyota's cars. One of the people told Bloomberg that the proposal values the company at $42 billion, a premium of 40% over its closing stock price on Friday. Although Akio Toyoda is chairman of Toyota Motor, his direct ownership of the company stands at less than 1%. Toyota Industries has a 9.1% stake in the car maker. The buyout would bolster the chairman's stake and influence over the broader Toyota group, which includes suppliers and holdings in other businesses, including rival car makers. Sources say Toyota Industries has formed a special committee after receiving the proposal and hired advisors to review its viability.
2 months after pausing retooling activity at its Brampton assembly plant in the Toronto suburbs, Stellantis has yet to call back staff and resume work. That's according to the union that represents hourly workers at the site. Unifor Local 1285 says there has been effectively no change at the plant since February 20th, with retooling work, quote, pretty much at a standstill. A skeleton crew of about 20 unionized skilled trade members remains on site. That's a fraction of the 400 on the retooling project previously. Stellantis would not comment on whether it has decided on how to proceed in Brampton. In an email, a company spokesperson said there is nothing new to announce regarding the plant.
And Mazda is enhancing passenger safety across its lineup as part of a goal to achieve zero fatalities in its vehicles by 2040. The automaker's approach starts with reducing injuries to vehicle occupants with advanced airbags and restraints, strong structural design, and collision prevention technology. All Mazda vehicles get advanced seat belts in the front and rear as well as 10 airbags strategically placed throughout. Many Mazda models also include proven safety technology such as automatic emergency braking, rear cross traffic alert, and lane keeping assistance as standard equipment. And those are today's headlines. So, Jamie, what are your thoughts on the U.S. Department of Transportation wanting to speed up the arrival of automated driving? Do you think, from a technology side, it's safe enough to go mass market, or would you prefer a slower, safer transition?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a matter of balance, I think. I don't disagree that some of the rules have been overly cumbersome, that it's been a really tedious process to try to get exemptions or to at least get, some steady ground rules about what is needed to have, the vehicle rules that, are designed around human-driven vehicles, like the need for a steering wheel and a brake pedal that don't necessarily apply in a robotaxi world, is silly and kind of an anachronistic, hangover of the 20th century vehicles. At the same time, there's a reason that regulators are reluctant to just open the floodgates, because cars are big, they go fast, and they're a lot harder than people. So if they make mistakes, people are going to get hurt, people are going to die, and that's not something that you should take lightly, whether you're a company or a bureaucrat. So, we often say caveat emptor, buyer beware. Here's one where maybe it's a vendor emptor. The government might say it's okay to go out there and run these businesses, but you better be careful that you don't hurt people, because you'll find yourself in court.
Gotcha. Coming up, we'll look at how tariffs are affecting dealership F&I offices with Protective Asset Protection's Paul McCarthy. That's next on Daily Drive.
As your business gets more complex, it feels like productivity can't go any higher. You need a way to move forward to a future where you don't have to start every interaction from scratch. You don't have to search for actionable information. You don't have to manually pull data to make decisions. You need a future where the complex is made simple and you can do more with less. How do you get there? It all starts with a spark. Unlock your full potential with the next generation of automotive dealership technology that actually does some of the heavy lifting for you by texting leads, transcribing calls, making data-backed recommendations, and boosting your overall productivity so that you can spend your time and energy on what truly matters, selling cars and growing your business. Spark AI, Reynolds' unified AI data layer, can empower your dealership to operate more efficiently and effectively than ever before, so you can do more, sell more, and make more. To learn how Spark AI can help your dealership reach its full potential, visit rayrey.com/spark-AI today. That's REYREY.com/spark-AI to learn more.
Welcome back to Daily Drive. I'm Jamie Butters with Kellen Walker. The price of new vehicles and the cost of repairs, maintenance, and F&I protection products could all increase with the implementation of tariffs. Paul McCarthy is Vice President of Sales at Protective Asset Protection. He spoke with Automotive News Senior Editor Dan Shine about how F&I offices need to change in order to deal with these possible price impacts.
Paul, thanks for joining me on the F&I Friday edition of Daily Drive.
Dan, great to be here, and hopefully we can share some thoughts of interest.
Yes. So, obviously, tariffs talk of the automotive world for a long time, and for good reason. And we talk about its impact on new vehicle prices and what that might mean for the used vehicle market. We talk about service and parts and how tariffs on parts might impact the fixed ops, but we really haven't gone into F&I. And so I wanted to kind of explore that a little bit with you. And you kind of say that there is potential impacts on tariffs in the F&I office. So let's get into that a little bit. Tell me, from that 50,000 foot view, how tariffs can, make things life a little more difficult in the F&I office at dealerships.
Well, of course, Dan, it all starts with the vehicle. Obviously, with vehicle prices being impacted, I think one of the key areas the dealers are going to have to look at is inventory management. So we may well see a move away from new vehicles once tariffs are implemented towards used vehicles. The used vehicles tend to drive sales of F&I products a little more. But again, in F&I, we have to be prepared, and we have to be able to explain to the customer the benefit of those products. So I think, one of the first things that I would do as an F&I manager or as a dealer interested in my F&I profits is I would take a look at my website, and in particular, my F&I page. Am I talking about the products that are available to customers? Perhaps it's a customer obviously buying a vehicle. What options are available to them in terms of service contracts and ancillary products to protect a vehicle purchase? And perhaps, as we said, more likely a used vehicle purchase. A customer, on the other hand, may decide they don't want to trade at this time because they're a little uncertain. So, do we have good maintenance offerings up there? Do we have good packages that that will continue to bring the customer back to the dealership, even if it's not for the purchase of a vehicle?
Would it be too simplistic to say, I know 2024 was not, the banner year for F&I after many successful years of a lot of money making. And 2024 seemed to slow down. Like, vehicle prices were up, cost of, personal insurance was up, interest rates were up, and a lot of people brought all cash to a deal, or, they were so tapped out for, covering the loan that they just didn't have any money left over for F&I products or protection products. Is it simply to say, bring out that 24 playbook, and that's kind of how you can deal with the tariffs of 25?
Look, I think, Dan, one of the things that I take away from mine for 2024 is how important training is. That, a skill set that, finance managers, are very skilled, but perhaps things were a little different. Arguably, maybe somewhat easier during the pandemic years. But in 2024, we need to go back to selling. So if we have downtime, I would encourage people to use it. Train yourself, expose yourself to old closes, new closes, ways to explain properly, and transparently the benefits of a product of each of your products to a customer, and be prepared. I mean, customers need these products. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. We've got to be able to explain the value of the product, the benefit of the product, and thereby justify the cost of the product, even if it has increased slightly over the years.
So should F&I kind of adopt more of a consultative approach as opposed to a straight sales approach?
I agree, Dan, 100% with that. I think the key to making sure that the customer has the products they need, and obviously it's F&I's job to ensure that, is transparency. So present the customer with all of the options that are appropriate, why each of them are important. I think it's, obviously everybody has seen, I mean, we've talked for years, well, the price of everything goes up. I mean, we've seen that to huge effect these last few years. So we see it, with claims data, with parts prices, with labor prices, everything has increased. So obviously the simple opportunity for a customer to buy a service contract at today's prices to pay for tomorrow's repairs. The same applies for maintenance, for road hazard coverage, et cetera, et cetera. So, I would say to a finance manager, arm yourself with the data. I mean, it's there. Your administrator has it. They can show you, how the cost of repairs, how the cost of maintenance has increased significantly, very significantly over the past few years.
Do you foresee a time when maybe dealership F&I offices think it's better maybe to bundle their products into their own kind of financing plan outside of the vehicle financing plan, the loan plan?
That can be an option for customers, certainly. If perhaps the loan that has been arranged by the dealership doesn't accommodate all the products that a customer needs, it is certainly, a great resource to have another option available to them, because oftentimes that, $30, $40, $50 a month, as we know, that's easier to find. It may be difficult or seem difficult, but it's certainly easier to find than $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 for a significant vehicle repair event.
Bottom line is train. Is that the easy way to think about it?
Train, but for the individual to be receptive to the training, to have a hunger for it, to understand the objections that they face with the customer today, and to seek for ways to, better inform the customer so that they can overcome their own objection with the information that you're providing.
Paul, great discussion on tariffs and the impact on the F&I office. Thanks for your time.
Of course, Dan. Happy to be a part of your show.
Paul McCarthy is Vice President of Sales at Protective Asset Protection. He spoke with our own Dan Shine. That's Daily Drive for today. I'm Jamie Butters.
And I'm Kellen Walker. Thanks to Automotive News executive producer Jake Neer, as well as our own Pete Bigelow and Carly Schaffner for their reporting for today's podcast. We also had reporting from David Kennedy of our sibling publication, Automotive News Canada. You can get the latest news on retail F&I, driverless vehicle policy, and everything happening in the auto industry at autonews.com.
Come back over the weekend for an update on the state of tariffs, their impact so far on manufacturing, and what to expect from parts tariffs rules expected by next week.
It's up to Trump at the end of the day, and he's being, pitched by the automakers, by suppliers, about why they need some sort of relief.
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show and the topics we covered today. Send us an email at dailydrive@autonews.com or leave us a voicemail at 313-444-2774. And if you enjoy the podcast, remember to like, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.